why you are here?
Yo, what up, what up, what up? See, man, Big Brandon Carter. When I was younger, I used to think that, some people were just born with certain gifts or talents. I used to think that certain attributes or qualities were just bestowed on a person. Like, this guy's just good at basketball, right? Or this guy's just good at lifting weights. This guy's just naturally has a great physique. This guy's, he's just more disciplined than me, so he can do it and I can't. And I really thought that way for a long time. When I read the comments left by my subscribers, I get the impression that a lot of you believe the same thing. And I want you to know that that is a fallacy. That is bullshit. Nothing can be further from the truth. What makes anyone truly great at anything is effort. It all boils down to the amount of effort they put in. Sure, some people are predisposed to having certain talents, or they might be naturally good at certain things. But greatness comes from effort. Putting in that work, deliberate effort. Just because you're talented or because you have a predisposition to being good at something, that doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful. Quite the contrary. Stephen King, one of the most successful authors of our time, he says talent is cheaper than salt. What separates the talented individual from the successful individual is effort. It's hard work. Stephen King said that. You know what? Well, how did he become one of the most successful authors of our time? You think it was just luck? Maybe he was predisposed to being good at literature, right? But that doesn't mean you'll be successful at it. Stephen King writes for 4 hours every day. He's already successful, but he still writes every day. He puts in that effort consistently. He doesn't do it just to put out a book every 3 months, which he does, but he does it to get better, because improvement comes from effort. Nobody's naturally great at anything. You might be naturally good at something. You might be born with some gifts, but greatness, that comes from effort every time. Michael Jordan, my opinion, the greatest basketball player of all time, arguably the greatest athlete of all time, He tried out for his high school basketball team, didn't even make the fucking team. That's natural talent for you. Fucking guy couldn't even make it, couldn't even get on the squad. And what he did was he worked. He worked hard. He practiced 2 hours before school. This is in high school. He was growing up in Brooklyn. He would get up early, practice for 2 hours before school, then practice after, then do his homework. He did that for a certain amount of time, then he was able to make the team. And he kept doing that practice all throughout high school. But even through high school, he wasn't like some natural phenom, he wasn't drafted out of high school straight in the NBA. He went to college, but he didn't even go for 1 year. Like Derrick Rose, he was a prolific basketball player. His first year, straight to the NBA, right after college, 1 year of college. Jordan went to school for 3 years. Which is rare for this is somebody who's supposed to just have this great natural talent. Nah, man, it's effort. He needed those 3 years to develop into the player he wanted to be. And then after college, he wasn't even drafted number 1. They didn't even think he was, after 3 years of college, they still didn't think he was the best player to come out of college that year. But he kept working every day. Phil Jackson said that he had one of the greatest work ethics of any athlete he's ever coached, But it wasn't just natural talent, it was effort, man. Effort is what's gonna make you successful. There's no use crying about, oh, this guy has it easier than me. He just has good genetics, blah, blah, blah. Yo, listen, people always comment on me, oh man, he just has good genetics. Or he's just ripped because he's black, or blah, blah, blah. But look, man, the last 6-7 years, I've written down everything I've eaten, every meal, everything I put in my mouth, pause, and how much water I've drank, how much sleep, every set of every rep. I have it all written down in logs. I have a bunch of them about this high. Now, I've been doing that for 7 years. If I was just some naturally gifted, if I was descended from X-Men, I wouldn't have to do all that. That's effort, man. The same people talking all that shit saying that it's just easy for me because of this or because of that aren't putting in as much effort as me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's easy for me and harder for you, then that means you need to be putting in at least as much effort as me. You should be putting in significantly higher effort than me because it's harder for you, because it's more difficult to you, allegedly. Or anyone else. Take me out of the equation. Jordan didn't sit around crying because someone else is better than him. Because other people got on the basketball team, he didn't. No, he worked. He put in the effort until he was good enough. Then he continued to put in the effort until he was better. Then he continued to put in effort until he was better than everyone. Everyone he was playing with. And then he continued putting in effort until he was better than anyone who's ever played. If he was just naturally gifted, he wouldn't have to do all that shit. If Stephen King was just naturally gifted, he wouldn't have to work every day. He wouldn't have to work 4 hours a day on his craft. When the last time your goofy ass spent 4 hours doing anything? Think about the things you want to accomplish in your life. Have you spent 4 hours a day doing it for any consistent amount of time? Probably not. Why not? What you crying? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Not now, when? You have to put in the effort to be successful. There was this guy, he's a multimillionaire, I forget his name, but he's friends with Jerry Seinfeld, right? He was sharing one of the tips Jerry Seinfeld gave him on how to become a good comedian, right? People just think, oh, Jerry Seinfeld's just naturally funny. He's just hilarious, and so it's just easy for him. But let me tell you what he said. Jerry Seinfeld says that he writes jokes every day. He sits down, but it's not like he just has to write jokes. No, he sits down, blocks off a certain amount of time, and writes jokes every day. Whether he has a show coming up or not, he's writing jokes, honing his craft, getting better. Do you block off an amount of time every day to get better at your craft? Why not? If Jerry was just naturally talented, he wouldn't have to do that. Or maybe he is naturally talented, but he still puts in the effort. That's why he's one of the most successful comedians of all time. That's why his sitcom is the most successful sitcom in television history. It's effort. It's effort. There was a rap group in the early 2000s, they named Young Gunners, right? And they were signed to Rockefeller Records, Jay-Z's record label. And I was reading an interview with one of the members, Young Chris. He was saying that Jay sat him down and said, listen, no matter what, whether you're working on an album or not, you need to write raps every day, at least one verse every day. Even if you never use it, you need to just do it every day. Because you have to get better at your craft the way an athlete works at his craft every day, the way Kobe Bryant shoots every day. This is what Jay-Z said he did. If he was just naturally gifted rapper, he wouldn't have to do all that. He wouldn't have to put in all that effort. Or maybe he is naturally gifted, right? He still puts in the effort, and that's why he's one of the most successful rappers ever. Talent is meaningless. Just like Stephen King says, talent is worthless. It's as cheap as salt. Effort is what's gonna make you successful. But here's the fucking thing. Here's the thing. It's not putting in the effort once or even twice. It's doing it consistently. Jay-Z said do it every day, no matter what. Stephen King writes 4 hours a day, no matter what. Jerry Seinfeld writes jokes every day. I once read that Kobe Bryant takes at least 2,000 shots every day. 2,000. That's why he's one of the most prolific offensive NBA players ever. When's the last time you did anything 2,000 times? He did it every day. Because here's the thing. It's not doing something once is almost meaningless, all right? It's what you do consistently that counts, all right? You're only going to get a little bit better every day. You know, I say this all the time. You're only going to make a little bit improvements every day. So each day you have to make as many improvements as you can. To the untrained eye, it would look like you made almost no improvement. But over time, you keep getting that little bit. You get a little bit better every day, and then they stack up. And over time, that improvement is a lot. It's called compound interest. If you keep putting money in the bank, even if it's a little bit, but you keep doing it over time, that money's gonna add up and it's gonna collect interest. You know, compound interest, man. Albert Einstein said, the greatest invention of mankind is compound interest. He went on to say compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. This is Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds to ever live, you know? You're only gonna get a little bit better every day. So you gotta get as much done as you can each day. You gotta squeeze the fucking life out of every moment of every day. And then those days add up. And then after a year, you've made big improvements. Like people say, people say, oh man, this guy's just big because he's black, or this guy's just ripped because he's black, or he's on roids, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. None of that's true. If you look at my videos from 2 years ago, I posted at least 5 videos a week for about 2 years. If you look at my very first videos, go back, go check it out. Look how much weight I've gained. It's a lot, but it's over 2 fucking years. I gained about 10 to 15 pounds over 2 years. That's less than a pound a month. Oh, but steroids work a lot better than that. Great genetics can get you a lot better results than that. What it is effort. It's me squeezing, it's me working hard each day. Like I told you, I write down everything I eat every day. I write down how much water I drink every day. I track every set of every rep and even how much I sleep. All these things are important. At the end of each month or week, I measure my body parts, take inventory of the progress I've made, and then I can see how consistent I've been. I can see why I'm making progress, why I'm not. You know, if I haven't made progress, I'm like, oh yeah, I skipped a few meals here and there. I'm not perfect. Oh yeah, I wasn't sleeping a lot this week, you know? Or if I have made progress, I'll see exactly why. What gets measured gets managed. If it can't be measured, it can't be managed. That's another topic. I don't want to get into too far into that. But what I'm saying is, I do as much as I can every day. And each day is almost nothing. It's negligible. But those days add up. It's effort, man. Consistent effort over a long period of time, you can accomplish anything. Within reason. You're not gonna fly or shit like that. Like when I was doing my book reviews, every time I'll do bigger, somebody says you should read The Secret and blah, blah, blah. It's a good book, but they left out one important thing. Effort. They left out effort. That book, The Secret, was based on a book. Like Rhonda Brewer, the author, she said that book was based on a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. All right, I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. This is the book that she based The Secret on. If you watch the beginning of the fucking movie, she says, oh, my life was all fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And then I found this book and shit started changing. This is the book she's talking about. And then she went on to make The Secret, and now she's a multimillionaire. But here's the thing. They left out the most important part of this book. You know, in her version of this book, The Secret, she left out the most important part. Right here. Wallace says, do every day all that can be done that day. That's effort. That's what I'm talking about. Do every day all that can be done each day. Squeeze the fucking life out of each day. Grab each day by his fucking neck, rip its head off, and then punt its head down the fucking street. You gotta take charge of your day. You gotta squeeze as much success out of each day as you can. It's effort, because it's effort that is gonna make you successful. It's not talent, it's not genetics, it's not your parents, it's not your upbringing, it's effort, exclusively. I know people who are born with crazy advantages, you know? I know, like I have a friend, he was born in a multimillionaire family, his dad was real powerful, women just threw themselves at him, you know what I'm saying? He was just naturally attractive, women just threw themselves at him, and he was white, so in America, that's a big advantage. And all these things meant nothing because his life is still a failure. He's in jail now because he didn't put in the effort. Take me, by contrast, exact opposite. Grew up in the motherfucking black ghetto, poverty. My father wasn't some powerful guy. He actually fucking shot himself in the head when I was younger. So I had to deal with that and fucking help the family. No real advantages, dyslexic, you know, sometimes still, you know, when I write words in the wrong order or number. If you tell me to write the phone number, inevitably I will put some of the words in reverse, you know. That's another story. Like, just a lot of disadvantages. But I didn't complain about it. I still put in effort every day to become successful. Any advantage you were born with are meaningless, all right? It's effort, and effort alone is gonna make you a success. Or the reason why you'll be a failure, lack of effort. And it's consistent effort, though. It's consistent effort. People come up to me with like, oh man, yeah man, I'm trying to gain weight. You'll be proud of me. I ate a big steak and a lot of potatoes today, right? I should be getting big. No, motherfucker, you did that shit once. Congratulations, you've accomplished almost nothing. Now, if you consistently eat big for a significant amount of time, then you'll make progress. That's something you can hang your hat on. Or a chick will be like, oh yeah, man, I'm trying to lose weight. But yo, I ate a salad today, that's good, right? And I'm like, that means nothing. That means nothing. If you stay in a caloric deficit for a consecutive amount of weeks or maybe months, then you'll see results. That's something you can be proud of. Results come from effort, consistent effort. Doing it once doesn't mean shit, because doing it once will make an insignificant amount of improvement. Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most successful comedians of all time, writes jokes every day. Stephen King, one of the most successful authors of all time, writes for 4 hours every day. Michael Jordan practiced before school every day, then practice during practice, team practice, then practice after team practice every day. Jay-Z, one of the most successful rappers of all time, said that he writes every day. All right, doing it once means nothing, but doing it over a significant amount of time, that's when you're gonna reap the rewards. So anyway, that was just a little rant. I'm kind of talking in circles now, so I'll end it. But I hope that helps. That's just the one thing I always try to instill in young people when I meet them, man. Effort. Because I don't think I knew that until I was like older. And the sooner you realize this, the sooner you can start putting in consistent effort, the faster you'll get results. I would have been a lot more successful at a younger age had I known this when I was younger. This is the one thing, if I could go back in time to tell my young self, I would tell him this: success comes from consistent effort exclusively.